Hi everyone. Hi everyone. Hope you all are good. So we're going to start with grade 10 maths. So we're going to follow the Nelson book, Nelson grade 10 book, and we are working on the chapter. The name of the chapter is Graphs of Quadratics. Chapter 3, Graphs of Quadratics. So please make sure you have your book so that you can follow the topics we are working on. And the topic we are working on is properties of graphs of quadratic relations. Properties of graphs of quadratic relations. So we're going to start with an example and using and with the example we're going to learn the concepts of the graphs of quadratic relations. Got it? So please make sure you have your book so that you can follow the same example I am working on, and also please make sure you have your notebook and pencil so that you can note down the important points on your notebook. Got it? I am following the Nelson grade 10 book. Please make sure you have the same book, and I'm the top we are working on the topic that is properties of graphs of quadratic relation, that is on page 138. Got it? I'm going to start with the practice questions. Got it? So that I can explain the concepts. Got it? So let's start the see, I'm on the book, chapter 3, page 145, and going to start with the practice question. Got it? If you have any question, any problem, just write the message in the live chat box. I can read the question and explain again if you have any problem. Got it? Okay, let's start. For each graph, state the y-intercept, the zeros, the coordinates of the vertex, and the equation of the axis of symmetry. So we're going to learn what is y-intercept. So basically the y-intercept of the parabola is the point where the graph is touching the y-axis. Got it? Just look at the first graph. At which point the graph is touching the y-axis? This is actually the point at 0 because the graph is crossing from the origin. So that means it is touching the x-axis and the y also. That means the y-intercept of the graph is 0. Got it? Y-intercept means the point where the graph is touching the y-axis. Got it? So the y-intercept is here. Let me write down. Y-intercept here is 0. Okay. The next thing is the zeros. The zeros means the points where the zeros are the points where the graph is touching both the axes x and y. So you can just see here is the point that at this point y is 0 because the point is on x-axis. Got it? So at -4, one of the 0 is -4 and the other 0 is 0 because here the graph is also touching the axis. So -4 and 0. Zeros means the point where the graph is touching the x-axis. Got it? So the zeros are, because the graph is touching at 2 points on the x-axis. One of them is -4 and one of them is 0. So the zeros of the graph is -4 and 0. The graph is touching on 2 points to the x-axis, -4 and 0. This point is, this line is passing from the origin, and at the origin you have x-axis and y-axis also. Got it? Okay, then you have the vertex. So what is the vertex? This is the point, that is vertex, where the graph is the peak value of the graph. This is the vertex. You have to look this point on the x-axis and on the y-axis. This point, exactly this point, this is the vertex of the parabola. Got it? So the vertex is, when you match it on the x-axis, it will be -2 on the x-axis, and on the y it is 4. Got it? So the vertex is -2 and 4. Got it? And the next one we have to find is axis of symmetry. So what is the axis of symmetry? Axis of symmetry is a line that divides the parabola into two identical parts. Got it? Axis of symmetry, you can note down the point in on your notebook. That is very important. So all the definitions are available in the book. I can show you right after the example. You can note down the exam definitions from the book. Got it? So axis of symmetry is the line that exactly divides the graph into two equal parts. So see the red line here. This is the red line. The red line is the line that divides the parabola into two identical parts. Got it? So just look at the equation. The line is touching the x-axis on x equals -2. So the equation axis of symmetry is x equals -2. If you have any question, any confusion, you can write in live chat box. I can see the live chat box and clear your confusions. Got it? So the axis of symmetry is x equals -2. Got it? Okay, let me show you where the definitions are. Let me just go to okay, top definitions. The axis of symmetry is a line that separates a 2D figure into two identical parts, is folded along the line. One of these parts fits exactly on other part. Got it? A line that separates a, that is the definition of the axis of symmetry. Got it? This is the definition of axis of symmetry. You can note down the definition from here. Axis of symmetry, a line that separates a 2D figure into two identical parts. If the figure is folded along the line, one of these lines fits exactly on each part. Got it? That is the definition of axis of symmetry. Okay, the next one is vertex, the point of intersection of parabola and its axis of symmetry. The vertex is the point of intersection of parabola and the axis of symmetry. That is the definition of the vertex. Got it? You can note down the definitions from your book. This is the definition of the vertex. And the next one is maximum value, the greatest value of the dependent variable in the relation. Got it? So you can note down the definitions from the book. Okay, we'll just move on to question number 4. Okay, examine each parabola. Examine each parabola. Determine the coordinates of the vertex. Determine the zeros. Determine the equations of the axis of symmetry. If you calculated second difference, would they be positive or negative? Explain. Okay, just look at the graph A. First, we have to find the coordinate of the vertex. Just look at the vertex. This point is the this point is the vertex. Got it? Just look at the coordinates. On the x-axis, it is 3, and on the y-axis, it is 2. So the vertex is 3 and 2 for the question number 4a. Okay, for question number 4a, the vertex is 3 and 2. Okay, the next we have to find is um, the zeros. Okay, zeros are the points where the graph is touching the x-axis. So graph is touching the x-axis at 0 and at 6. So the zeros are 0 and 6. Zeros are 0 and 6. Okay, the next one we have to find is determine the equation of axis of symmetry. Okay, so just make a straight line from the vertex to the x-axis, and it touch the x-axis on x equals 3. That means the axis of symmetry equation for axis of symmetry is x equals 3. Got it? Equation of axis of symmetry is x equals 3. Got it? Okay, one more thing. The last point is, if you calculated the second difference, would they be positive or negative? Explain. With we can find the second difference is positive or negative without calculating. See, the parabola opens downward, isn't it? When the parabola opens downward, that means the second differences would be negative. Got it? You can note down, as parabola opens downward, that means second differences are negative. Got it? If you have any question, write the question in the chat box. I'll clear your confusion if you have any. Okay, so okay, now you can do the B part by yourself. Got it? Okay, let me see something that is okay. Let's start with question number 7. Okay, create a table of the values of each quadratic relation and sketch the graph, and then determine the equation of axis of symmetry, the coordinates, the y-intercepts, the zeros, the maximum and minimum value. Okay, now you're given with the equations for question 7 and 8. I'm going to start with the 1, and then you have to find the rest of the values. Let's start with question number 7a. 7a is y equal. Now you are not given with the graph. You have to plot the graph by yourself. Got it? So let's start with question 7a. Y equals x square plus 2. Y equals x square plus 2. You have to plot the graph. So for the graph, x is an independent variable. We have to use the values of x and to find the values of y. So let's start when x equals 0. Y equals 0 plus 2. Y equals 2. Here I am. So when x is 0, y is 2. When x is 1, y equals 1 square plus 2. 1 square is 1 and 1 plus 2 is 3. When y is 1, x is, sorry. When x is 2, y equals 2 square plus 2. 2 square is 4 and 4 plus 2 is 6. That means when x equals 2, y is 6. Got it? Okay, let's just put some of the negative values. When x equals negative 1, so then y equals negative 1 square plus 2, and it is again 1, 1 plus 2 is 3. That means when x equals negative 1, y is 3. If you have any problem, just write a question in the live chat box. I'll explain again if you have any. Got it? Otherwise, I'll keep explaining. I thought you guys are getting all the points. So if you have any problem, just write the message in the live chat box. I can explain again. Got it? Okay, then when x equals negative 2, so y equals negative 2 square and plus 2. Negative 2 square is 4 and 4 plus 2 is 6. When x equals -2, y is 6. Because you're in grade 10, so I suppose you already know how to plot the graphs of the equation. Got it? You need to put the x values and you have to calculate the y values. And this way you have to create the tables like I did on the board. Got it? Now let's just plot the graph of the given values and then we'll find the rest of the values from the graph. Got it? Okay, let me just plot the graph. And then we'll find the rest of the values from the graph. Okay, let me just plot the graph. Okay, 1, 2, 3, -1, -2, -3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, 1, 2, 3, -1, -2, -3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, -6. Okay, start with the when x is 0, y is 2. Here you have a point because on the y-axis x is 0. Okay, then when x is 1, y is 3. When x is 2, y is 6. Okay, when x is -1, y is 3. When x is -2, y is 6. Okay, just join these points. It would form a parabola like this. I'm not good with drawings, so sorry for the. So you can plot the graph on Desmos or any online tool. Got it? Okay, now you have to find the rest of the values. Which values we have to find? Let me read. Mm, the equation of axis of symmetry. Okay, so first of all, you have to see the equation of axis of symmetry. You have to make a line. The axis of symmetry is a line that divides the parabola into two identical parts. So it would be on the y-axis. So that means it is y equals 0. Mm, the equation of axis of symmetry is x equals 0. Got it? Then the second one is the coordinates of the vertex. So for one, x equals 0. So the coordinates of the vertex are, here is the vertex. So x is 0 and y is 2. Got it? Then the third one is mm, the y-intercept. You have to find the y-intercept is the graph is touching the y-axis at y equals 2. So the y-intercept is y equals 2. Got it? Okay. So then what is the zeros? For the fourth one, you have to calculate the zeros. Since the graph is opening upward and its vertex is above the x-axis, that means graph is not touching on any point on the x-axis. See, the graph is just touching the y-axis. So you have no zeros. Got it? And the next one is, the last one is the maximum or the minimum value. So the minimum value, the graph is touching this is the minimum value. The minimum value is 2. Got it? That's how you have to plot the graph. Then you have to find the rest of the values from the graph. Got it? So that is how you have to solve these questions. Got it? Okay, please do the practices, and if you need more help with the topic, contact any tutor on the Skype. They're from Monday to Friday, 5 to 9. Got it? Okay, then on the next topic is factored form of a factored form of a quadratic relation. Okay, let's start with the factored form of quadratic relation. Okay, so the factored form of a quadratic relation is a quadratic relation that can be written in the form y equals a x minus r, and let me write paste it on board. Okay, this is the factored form. The factored form of a quadratic relation is a quadratic relation that is written in the form y equals a x plus r and x plus s. In the form here you have y equals a x plus r and x plus s. This is the factored form of the quadratic relation. Got it? Okay. So let's start with examples. Okay, let's start with the first one. Complete the following for each quadratic relation below. Determine the zeros. Explain how the zeros are related to the factor in the quadratic expression. Determine the y-intercept. Determine the equation of axis of symmetry. Determine the coordinates of the vertex. Is the graph parabola? How can you tell sketch the graph? Okay, you are given with the equations. You have to tell all these points using the equations. Got it? So let's start with equation A. Y equals negative 2x. Let me just copy the points on the board because I have to go to book again and again. Okay, copy, and these are the points we have to find. Okay, let me write down the equation number A. The equation A is y equals negative 2x and x plus 3. Y equals negative 2x and x plus 3. So we have to find, okay, so first we have to determine the zeros using the equation. So now we're going to learn how to find these values using the how can we find these values using the equation. Determine the zeros. So the zeros occur when either you need to put y equals 0. 0 equals negative 2x and x plus 3. That means negative 2x equals 0 and x plus 3 equals 0. Got it? So that means x equals 0, from negative 2x equals 0, and from this one x equals negative 3. Got it? So the zeros of the equation are 0 and negative 3. So whenever you are given with the equation and you have to find the zeros. Just put y equals 0 in the equation. Got it? So the zeros of the equation are 0 and -3. Got it? Okay. Zeros are 0 and -3. Okay. Then the second one is explain how the zeros are related to the factors in the quadratic expression. Okay. The zeros are the values of x that make each factor equals 0. If one factor equals 0, then y equals 0, which means the value of x is a 0. Got it? Okay, the third one is determine the y-intercept. Okay, we have to find the y-intercept. So for y-intercept, we have to put x equals 0 in the equation. For y-intercept, put x equals 0 in the equation. So just replace all the x with 0, -2 times 0, and 0 plus 3. So 0 times -2 is 0, and 0 plus 3 is 3, but 3 times 0 is 0. So the y-intercept is 0. Whenever you have to find the y-intercept from the equation, you just need to put x equals 0 in the equation. Got it? Okay, we have to find the axis of symmetry. The axis of symmetry is the midway between the zeros. Got it? The axis of symmetry is y equals 0. Okay, the axis of symmetry is midway. Axis of symmetry is midway between zeros. So we know we have calculated the zeros. Zeros are 0 and -3. Here you have zeros. We have already calculated the zeros. So just calculate the midway between them. Midway between them means add them and divide them by 0. Got it? So it would be x equals 0 minus 3 over 2, because one of them is 0 and one of them is -3. Look here, one of them is 0 and one of them is, so it's 0 minus 3 over 2. So 0 minus 3 over 2 is minus 3 over 2, and that would be -1.5. So the equation for axis of symmetry is x equals -1.5. Got it? Okay, then we have to find the vertex. Determine the coordinates of the vertex. So how we can find the vertex? We have the axis of symmetry. Just put the axis of symmetry in the equation. Got it? The axis of symmetry is x equals -1/5. So for the vertex, to calculate the vertex, put x equals -1.5 in equation. The equation is y equals -2x and x plus 3. So just put the value. So -2 times -1.5, -1.5 plus 3. Just replace the x with the values. So it would be then -2 times -1.5, and it would be y equals 4.5. That means the vertex is -1.5 and 4.5. This is the vertex. Got it? The axis of symmetry is, equation of axis of symmetry is -1.5, and the vertex is -1.5 and 4.5. Got it? Let me remove the rest of the things because it creates a mess. Okay, then is the graph parabola? How can you tell? So how can you tell it's a parabola? Because it's a degree 2 equation. So whenever you have a degree 2 equation, that means it is a parabola. When you expand the equation is y equals negative 2 negative 2x x plus 3. When you expand the equation, it would be degree 2 equation, because it's a degree 2 equation, so that's how we know it is the parabola. Got it? And now at the end you have to sketch the graph, so make a table. You know how to make a table and then sketch the graph by yourself using an online tool. Got it? Okay. Okay, then you are given with match each quadratic relation with the correct parabola. You are given with the equations, find the axis of symmetry and parabola for the equations, and then you can match the graphs. Got it? The same way I did question number one. Okay, the questions are exactly same. I did the example, so you have to do the practice questions by yourself. If you need more help with the topics, you can contact any tutor on the Skype from Monday to Friday. I explained concepts in a detail. Now you have to do the practice questions by yourself. If you need more help with the topic, then contact any tutor on the Skype. Got it? Okay, the next topic is expanding quadratic expressions. Yes, expanding quadratic expressions. Okay, okay, let's start with expand and simplify. I'm going to start with question number 4. X plus 2 and x plus 5. X plus 2 and x plus 5, you have to expand them. First, you have to multiply that with all the things that are inside this bracket. Then you have to multiply the 2. Let me write it down in the same x. You have to multiply the x with x plus 5. Then you have to multiply the plus 2 with x plus 5. And means you have to multiply each and everything. X times x is x square. X times 5 is 5x. Now you have to do the same thing here. 2 times x is 2x. And 2 times 5 is 10. Just collect the like terms. These both are like terms, so just add them. 5 plus 2 is 7x plus 10. If you have any question, any confusion, just use the live chat option. You can write the question. I'll explain again. So, and you have to do the practice questions by yourself. If you have any confusion with the questions I'm explaining, you can ask question, I can explain. Use the live chat box, write the answers, write the questions. Otherwise, I thought you're getting all the points, isn't it? Okay, that's how you have to expand. You have to multiply the x with all the things that are inside this bracket. Like I have written x times x plus 5. That means you have to multiply the x with this one and then with this one. Same is the case for 2. You have to multiply 2 with the x and 2 with the 5. And then you have to collect the like terms like I did. Got it? Okay, let's just do another example. Selecting another one from question number 5. 5x plus 2 and x plus 2. Sorry. 5x plus 2 and x plus 2. Okay, you have to multiply that 5x to 2x plus 2. Let's write it down. And then you have to multiply the 2 to the everything that is inside this bracket. Got it? Now let's just multiply them. 5x times x is 5x square. 5x times 2 is 2 times 5 is 10x. Got it? Then 2 times x is 2x, and then 2 times 2 is 4. Just collect the like terms. So you have 5x square, 10 plus 2 is 12x, and plus 4. Got it? That's how you have to expand the quadratic expressions. Okay, of the question is exactly same. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 9, 10 are exactly same. Let's do one part from question number 11. So question number 11 is determine the equation. Okay, determine the equation. Question number 11a. Determine the equation of each parabola. Express the equation in standard form. Okay, you are given with the graph. You have to write the equation of the parabola. Got it? From the graph. Okay. Just 1 minute. Okay. Okay, let's start with the first graph. Just look at the graph. We have to look at the zeros. First, we have to look at the zeros. So the graph is touching on the 2 points on the x-axis. One of them is -2 and one of them is 4, isn't it? So the zeros of the graphs are x equals -2 and x equals 4. Let me write it down on board. The zeros of the graphs are question number 11a, I think it is. Question number, yes, 11a. Question number 11a. So the zeros of the graph are x equals -2 and x equals 4. So the zeros are x equals -2 and x equals 4. Got it? So we have to write the equation in the factored form. So the equation is then y equals a times x plus 2 and x minus 4. That's how we write the equation using the zeros. Here you have -2, so x minus minus 2 is x plus 2, and this is positive, so it is x minus 4. Got it? This is the equation in the factored form. And now we have to find the y-intercept of the graph. So the y-intercept of the graph is, the graph is touching the y-axis at -8. Got it? So the y-intercept is -8. Y-intercept is 0 and -8. Got it? Okay, then the next one we have to find the value of a in the equation, because I've just written equation in y equals a x plus 2 and x minus 4 form. Got it? So we have to find the y-intercept. So we have to find the value of a. We know that y-intercept is -8. Just put the -8 in the 0. -8 equals a, x is 0, 0 plus 2 and 0 minus 4. So it would be -8 equals a, 0 plus 2 is 2 and 0 minus 4 is -8. -8 equals a, 4 times 2 is -8. So divide that -8 to the other side. So it would be then a equals -8 over -8. That means the value of a equals 1. Got it? Now the equation is y equals 1. Either you can write 1 or no. The equation is x plus 2 and x minus 4. Got it? Okay, you have to write the equation in standard form, just multiply them like we do expand them. Y equals x times x minus 4 plus 2 times x minus 4. So it would be then x times x is x square, x times 4 is -4x, 2 times x is 2x, and 2 times -4 is -8. So it would be then y equals x square, -4 plus 2 is -2x and -8. So the equation of the first graph is y equals x square, -2x and -8. Got it? So that's how you have to find the equation rest of the graph. Got it? Okay. Write each quadratic relation standard form. State which way the parabola opens. You are given with zeros and a point on the graph. Okay, let's just, the zeros is -1 and 7. Let me write it. Question number 12, I think. Question number 12A. Okay, the zeros are -1 and 7 and point is 3, 5. -1, 7. Zeros are given -1, 7 and point on the graph is 3 and 5. Okay, let's start with the zeros. So inserting the zeros in the equation look like y equals a, y equals a times x plus 1 and x minus 7. Got it? Now you have to put the point. You already have given point 3 and 5. So x is 3 and y is 5. Just put the point and calculate the value of a. So it would be x is 3, 3 plus 1 and 3 minus 7. I'm using the point that is given in the question. Got it? So it would be then 5 equals a, 3 plus 1 is 4 and 3 -7 is -4. So it would be then 4 times 4 is -16 and 5. So a equals -5 by 16. So now the equation is y equals -5 over 16 and x plus 1 and x minus 7. Got it? So just solve the equation and it would be then 16 y equals -5 x plus 1 and x minus 7. That's how you have to write the equation for rest of the questions. Got it? So you have to do the practice questions by yourself. If you need more help with the topics, you can contact any tutor on the Skype. They are available from Monday to Friday, 5 to 9. Got it? So that's all for today. So we have covered three of the topics today. They are properties of a graph of quadratic relations, factored form of a quadratic relation, and expanding quadratic expressions. So please make sure before the next class you have to cover all the practice questions, most of the practice questions. And if you need help with the practice question, you can contact any tutor on the Skype. They are available from Monday to Friday, 5 to 9. So if you need if you like the video, if you find the video helpful for you, just click on the like button right below the um, video. And that's all for today. See you in the next session. Bye.